This is Tales and Whispers, where every story is felt, not just heard.
We're diving into a story that, honestly, feels more like a fairy tale than something that could happen in the real world. It's a story about what happens when pure, raw instinct comes face to face with human mercy. And it all kicks off in one of the most unforgiving places on the entire planet. Right there, that's where it all begins. Imagine that for a second. A place so cold, so quiet, you can hear yourself breathe. And in that vast emptiness, a tiny, dark shadow of a cub started a journey that nobody could have seen coming.
And this is the mystery at the center of it all. I mean, just look at this. It seems to fly in the face of everything we know about nature. You've got a predator and what should be its prey, and they're not just getting along. They look like they're sharing a joke. How on earth is that even possible?
To figure this out, we need to properly introduce our two main characters, Luna, the Melanistic Leopard, and Venza, the Rottweiler. Their incredible bond is the beautiful puzzle we're going to piece together. Think about it like this. On one side, you have pure instinct, right? A leopard should see a dog as prey, as an enemy. But then you look at what actually happened. Venza wasn't prey. He became her brother. Their whole world wasn't about fighting. It was about play. It was built on trust. It just completely flips the script. So, how did we get here? Well, to understand this friendship, we have to go way back to the very beginning, to Luna's first few days, when she was literally teetering on the edge of life and death. Now, here's a crucial piece of the puzzle. Luna wasn't born in the wild. Her life started inside a traveling zoo. And that one detail right there is the key to her entire story and why going back to nature was never an option. She was only 7 days old. Just think about that. A week. At that age, a cub is completely helpless, totally vulnerable. There's just no room for error. And right then, in that critical first week, the absolute worst thing happened. Her own mother just rejected her, turned away from her. For any baby animal in the wild, that is a death sentence, period. Her condition was just awful. She was weak, she was sick, her tiny little body couldn't stop shivering. Every single breath was a struggle. You know, most people would have just seen it as a sad, unavoidable part of nature. But one person didn't. And this is where the story pivots. A woman named Victoria walks into Luna's life, and she's suddenly faced with a choice that's going to change absolutely everything. And that was her decision. Just a simple, powerful declaration that basically told fate to get lost. Victoria decided right then and there she was not going to stand by and watch this little cub fade away. This was the exact moment that mercy stepped in. But, you know, saying it is one thing. Doing it was a whole other battle. Victoria actually purchased the tiny cub and gave her a name, Luna. It was probably the first bit of warmth she'd ever known. Then came the really hard part, the constant hand-feeding, giving her medicine, all those sleepless nights. And all the while, I'm sure she was wrestling with that question. Am I even doing the right thing here? Okay, so let's clear something up. When you see a picture of Luna, your brain probably screams Black Panther. But the real story behind what she is, well, it's actually way more interesting. So yeah, the popular name for an animal that looks just like Luna is a black panther. It sounds cool, it's mysterious, but guess what? It's not actually its own species. Luna is a leopard, but she has a genetic condition called melanism. It's basically an overdose of dark pigment in her fur, which makes her iconic leopard spots almost totally hidden by her black coat. But they're still there. If you catch her in just the right light, you can actually see them. So the key thing to remember is this. Despite that incredible, unique coloring, she is, deep down, a leopard. She has the exact same wild nature, the same predator instincts as any other leopard on the planet. And that's what makes this whole story so mind-blowing. So this brings us to what I think is the real soul of Luna's story. It's this incredibly powerful lesson about what mercy really means, and about facing the hard truth that sometimes just loving something isn't enough. Because she was raised by a human, she'd never learned how to be a leopard from her mother. Releasing her back into the wild, that's just impossible. She wouldn't know how to hunt, how to survive, how to protect herself. It would be sending her out to die, plain and simple. And Victoria understood this. She realized that the feeling of love she had for Luna wasn't going to be enough to keep her safe. Real care, real mercy, that demands a deep, lifelong sense of responsibility. So what does that responsibility look like day to day? Well, it looks like this: building a huge private enclosure just for Luna's well-being. It means that every single time they go outside for a walk, she is being watched constantly. And it means Luna wears a tracking device, not to chain her down, but to make sure she is always, always safe. Ultimately, the lesson here is just so powerful. You know, a real rescue isn't that one fleeting moment where you feel sorry for an animal. It's a promise. It's a commitment that lasts a lifetime. Which leaves all of us with this one final massive question. When you look at the impossible friendship between Luna and Venza, you just have to wonder, can a deliberate act of mercy really change the rules of what we've always just called nature? The answer isn't easy, but this story sure makes you think that maybe, just maybe, it can.